Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to have some fighting words. In this video, I want to talk about Manny Pacquiao versus Errol Spence. So Manny Pacquiao recently said something, and it kind of gives light to what this up-and-coming fight is going to be. So what he said is this fight could be the farewell fight or one more. Now, why is that telling for this up-and-coming fight? Because based on his performance in this fight and the results in this fight, that will determine what comes next. Either I'm going to fully immerse myself into politics in my home country, or I'm going to stick around for one more. So, I think I already thought this was going to be a fight that you just wouldn't want to miss. You want to tune into. But after hearing a comment like that from Manny Pacquiao, I truly believe this could very well be a better fight than Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman, which, that was a good fight. So if you're going to top that, you're definitely going down in my Hall of Fame alone just by, topping that fight. So yeah, I just feel like that's a heck of a comment to make. And that lets me know how hard he's going to train. That lets me know there's no playing around once he gets in that ring with Errol Spence. He's coming for business. And he's coming for those belts. He's not just coming to be a gatekeeper. He's not just coming to make a ton of money. He's not coming for those things. He's coming for that belt. He's coming for his legacy. Because if I am to exit on the night of, I'm going to leave such a mark on the night of that you'll always remember me. Or I'm going to make history and be a unified champion the night of. Either way, I'm coming with the thunder the night of. So I'm excited. That type of comment, it does something for me. I hope it does something for you. And I can see it's done something for Manny. You can tell an individual's focus just by the words that they use. And that lets me know how hard he's going to train. It lets me know he's going to wake up extra early and go running. It lets me know that he's going to have proper sparring and it's not going to be light sparring. It just lets me know that he's going to have a solid game plan. Like he's coming for war. He's coming for war. Earl's coming to get Manny's name on his resume. That's why he's coming. He wants that name. Yes, he wants the check that comes along with Manny Pacquiao, but he wants the name that comes along with Manny Pacquiao as well. By far, the biggest name on his resume. If Errol Spence were to stop fighting after this fight, he'll always be able to say, I fought Manny Pacquiao. Say no more, I fought Manny Pacquiao. That's going to put me somewhere amongst my peers. I fought Manny. Terrence Crawford didn't fight Manny. Danny Garcia didn't fight Manny. I fought Manny. Keith Thurman fought Manny, but, it's nothing to brag about with Keith Thurman because look what happened. But he can say that. I fought Manny Pacquiao. And I think that's important. I think it's important for his legacy. I think, listen, they both have legacies. And the reality is, Errol Spence is not going to be fighting at 147 pounds forever. He's not. He clearly has dreams and aspirations of going up anyway. And there was once talks of Errol Spence fighting Canelo Alvarez. There was an interest there. And not to mention he's from Texas, he's from Mexico. Come on, do the math. All the Mexicans there, not to mention the fan base that Errol Spence has, being from Texas, it's a no-brainer. That's a big fight just waiting to happen. However, that fight gets bigger if he gets through Manny Pacquiao. Because Canelo's going to say, hey, I got Floyd Mayweather on my resume. I didn't beat him, but I got Floyd Mayweather on my resume. And Errol Spence will say, I got Manny Pacquiao on my resume. When they come together at some point, it's probably going to be a negotiating table and say, hey, look who's on my resume. And Errol's going to, look who's on my resume. When it comes to who's getting how much money. So I think it's important for both of them. But I'm really excited for Manny. I feel like, I just think he's always focused. I don't think he's a guy who goes, 90%. I don't think he's that guy. I think he's the type of guy that everything's 100%. Everything is just pedal to the metal, full throttle. That's how he lives his life. I just think that's how he fights. That's just his mentality. He doesn't go halfway. So when he makes a comment like that, I get pretty pumped up because I know it's about to happen. I know from round one to whenever it ends, because I don't believe this fight is going the distance. I really don't. And there are days, I'm not going to lie to you, there are days when I believe Manny's going to win. I honestly do. And then there are days when I believe that Errol is going to take everything home. I actually do. And it's just like, I can't really call it. I got to be honest with you. People could say, oh, Manny's age, all you want. Manny's a pretty active guy. Like, even when he's not boxing, he's playing like basketball and doing all this other stuff. So it's not like he's just sitting around doing nothing. No, Manny Pacquiao is working. And he has been working. Even when Errol Spence called him out the night of, after he fought Danny Garcia, Manny was in shape. Manny wasn't overweight. He was in shape. You could tell he was slim. If you go back and look at the fight and look at the end of the fight when Errol calls him out, you look at his face. His face was sunk in. He was in shape. He was in shape prior. And the reason why he was in shape, because I believe he knew he was going to call him out. That's the reason why he was in attendance. Manny Pacquiao doesn't go to everybody's fight. He went to Errol Spence's fight because he knew he was going to get called out. And if he knew he was going to get called out, well, then he probably started training a little early. So Manny's in shape. I think Manny's taking this fight extremely serious. I don't think he would just take the regular, 8-week training camp or something like that. I think he was already in shape prior, got called out, and he's going to go into training camp. That's what I think. And when you make a statement like that, it's like, listen, if all goes well the night of, I'm going to stick around for one more fight so I can completely unify this thing. But if it doesn't go the way I'm planning out, well then, you know what? I've had an amazing career. I'm already in the Hall of Fame. And that's going to be, that's going to be the end of it. But I'm pretty excited. I am very, very, very excited for this fight because there's so many opportunities. He can fight Ugas after this. If he were to win, he can make history again, unifying all these titles. So I'm excited for him. I'm just excited for Manny Pacquiao because I think we need to cherish what we have in Manny Pacquiao. We need to cherish what we have. We have a throwback fighter, first of all, the way he fights, because he'll fight anybody. And you all know, nowadays, not everybody's willing to fight anybody. But then on top of that, we have a guy from a different era. We have a guy from the 90s fighting in 2021, 2022. We have a guy from the 90s. We need to cherish what we have. We need to cherish what we have, and we need to just big him up. We got to honor this guy. We got to honor him while he's still around and while he's still active. So many times in boxing, we honor people after they're long gone or they're like a half a shell of themselves, and then we're like, oh, we're going to honor you. We can honor him now. We can give him the proper respect and just admiration now, because not many people survive from that era to this era. Matter of fact, there's only two. It's Manny and it was Floyd. There's only two. That's it. Just two people from the 90s who are still here. Just two. That says something. They fought through many different eras and they're still here. And Manny says, if I get these belts, I'm not going anywhere. I got at least one more in me if I get these belts. I'm going to unify this thing and then I will pack it in. And I will devote the rest of my time on this earth to helping people in my country and all around the world. And I think that's admirable. In the ring and also outside the ring. It's admirable that he's willing to, if I get these belts, I'm going to unify. I'm not just going to get them and get halfway unify and then run out of Dodge. No, I'm gonna get the next belt, unify this division, and then I'm gonna be out of here. I mean, you never know. If he gets these belts easier than what he thought, he might stick around because, again, he's preserving his body. He flat out said that the fight with Keith Thurman took a lot more out of him than he expected. I mean, he took a lot of damage in that fight. He won, but he fought for that win. And we all know how Errol fights, which is why he's saying, I could stick around, might not. We'll see. We'll see. Let's just say I get these belts. Well, then I'm going to unify. Maybe I'll defend these unified titles once or twice. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling after this fight, because I know this is going to be a grueling fight. But that's what I have for Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence for this video. You tell me what you think down below, and as always, please like and subscribe.